Yeah, that's where the intro is supposed to be going. Well, we need to fix that because we look like amateurs here, and we need to get this. We need to get this fixed. Can't be looking like an amateur here on the internet. I mean, people, professionals that are doing these things. We're competing with them. Hey everybody, welcome. This is the Mr. Ball Show. That's right, welcome. We are still in the early stages of bringing you the ballsiest sports journalism reporting out there, anywhere. We're not scared to say what needs to be said, and we call things the way we see them. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, right? There's two big stories going on right now. One of them, Kobe Bryant. Saddest thing ever. I'm not gonna lie, the game was yesterday, the first game the Lakers played since Kobe's passed away. That was the saddest thing I have ever seen in sports, ever. And you know, I've been on this earth for about 37 years, and I've seen a lot of things. I cried when Magic Johnson retired, but not like I cried yesterday. Just too much tragedy there, a lot of sadness, and I don't really want to focus on that right now because the Mamba would want us to keep going and focus on what we're doing. And Mamba mentality knows we got to get the Mr. Balls show going. And again, just condolences to all the families that were lost in that helicopter, all the families that are heavily affected, more directly affected than even us. We're all affected as fans because we all let Kobe into our homes and we saw him grow, and we wanted to see what Kobe was going to bring. I think one of the biggest sources of my tears last night as I watched this game was, man, I was able to hold through the tribute videos and everything, but then when the crowd went quiet, the black lights were there. You could see the little cell phone lights, and the stadium was black, and then everyone started chanting, MVP, MVP. And as like a Laker fan for my entire life, hearing that MVP chant, knowing that it didn't matter that all those MVP awards that Kobe should have gotten and he didn't, we knew who the MVP was in our stadium, right? And that MVP chant, man, waterworks. It's waterworks. I couldn't hold it back. The floodgates were open. I haven't cried like that in a long time, but definitely just a lot of sadness there, and only time is going to help us deal with this. I don't think we're ever going to get over it. Every basketball great is still amongst us, right? I mean, every single one of them, maybe minus one or two, but all the greatest that you talk about, 50th greatest guys that ever played basketball, they're all with us. Michael Jordan, Elgin Baylor, Dr. J, Shaq, you know, these guys who were just amazing in the, you know, Karl Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, John Stockton, the Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, you just name them, they're all here. And Kobe, who is, you know, one of the youngest, one of the brightest, and who we saw grow into being probably one of the, maybe the greatest dad on earth, the way he was going, you know, just an example to us all. And it's a huge loss for not just the sports world, but humanity in general. So rest in peace, Kobe. And of course, everyone else that was, all the innocent lives that were on that helicopter, baseball coaches, wives, mothers, brothers, sisters, sons, dads, all that on one helicopter. Very tragic. So once again, what we want to do though today, we covered a little bit of Kobe there. Now, to be fair, because tomorrow is the second biggest story in the world right now, which is Super Bowl 54. So Super Bowl 54 is just around the corner. I've heard all the stuff that people got to say out there. There's a great in-depth article on ESPN that goes over everything you need to know about this. But you know what? You can overanalyze things. Sometimes things are simpler than they are. We could sit here and we could try to act like all these statistics are going to lead to the perfect prediction, and it's just not the way sports works. Many times it doesn't go anything like we thought, right? Like I've been pretty correct on most of these playoffs, which I didn't film any shows at that time, but some of my great calls this year where I definitely had the Titans upsetting the Patriots, I definitely called that. However, I did not have the Ravens losing. That one was not. I was expecting to see Ravens Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and we did not get that because the Titans, man, that Derrick Henry, the way he ran this off, you know, this postseason, incredible. So once again, a couple predictions I got wrong. Most of them I got right, though. Everything else pretty much fell into play. The 49ers where they are, especially over the Packers. Packers are the worst 13-3 team maybe ever in football. But so we are here with the two best teams in the league. So we do have a true Super Bowl here that we're about to watch. Both teams deserve to be there this year. Both teams were consistent. Both teams were strong. You know this. Nothing new that I'm telling you. You can get all this on Fox Sports and ESPN and everywhere else. They'll all tell you, what these guys have done. Now, we all know one thing. There's a couple of special quarterbacks in the league. You have elite quarterbacks in the league, and then you have the special quarterbacks in the league. So this year, I'm just talking about single season. I'm not talking about careers or any of that. But this year, some of the best quarterbacks that we saw, right? Ryan Tannehill, surprisingly. Kirk Cousins, statistically. Excellent quarterback. Drew Brees had a good year. Maybe not for Drew Brees' standards because he's broken records. But at his age, doing his thing for the Saints, still had a very respectable season under quarterback. Carson Wentz, you could argue, with the tools that he had to throw to this year. Terrible options over there in Philly. He didn't really have much to work with, but he had some very impressive numbers as well. But then we talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to throw him in there. Jimmy Garoppolo's been a great quarterback this year. He's been a solid manager, hasn't made a lot of mistakes. His team wins. Like, he does what he needs to do for his team to win. So these are the great quarterbacks of the year of the 2019 season. There are 3 special quarterbacks. 3 of them, all right? So those 3 quarterbacks are Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes. These 3 guys are straight special. Something about them just goes above and beyond. Aaron Rodgers, he was great this year. Is he special? No, he's not. Who is special are these 3 guys. And the reason is because they can beat you with their feet. They can beat you with their arms. They are highly intelligent, and their leadership skills are off the charts. I'm talking about if you're down in a game and you're feeling like, man, are we going to be able to pull through on this one? You look at that guy over there in the middle of the huddle. You're looking over at Lamar Jackson or Pat Mahomes or Russell Wilson, and you're saying, you know what? We got a chance. That's Peyton Manning. That's Tom Brady in their primes. That's what you're getting from these 3 individuals today. So best quarterbacks in the game by far. Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. Not a lot of surprise there. You hear that everywhere too. But now it comes down to what's going to win. What's it going to take to win Super Bowl 54, right? I'll tell you one thing I've always believed in. Defense wins championships. It just does. Because at the end of the day, you can put up points against, all these teams. There's all kinds of soft defenses out there. But you come and you hit that elite defense in, an AFC, NFC championship game or a Super Bowl, and you're going to find out what your team is really made of. Are you able to put points up against those ballers over there? Those guys that are ready, those dogs that came here to hit, that are not going to make anything easy for you. They're going to make you work for every inch, for every play, for every first down, for every touchdown. It's going to take maximum effort from an entire team in order to beat them, right? And San Francisco has the elite defense here. They have got a phenomenal defensive line over there. They've been one of the best teams against the pass. A lot of things that are going for the 49ers there. On the offensive side of the ball, they usually play with the lead, and they're able to just run the clock and run the game. Garoppolo will then go play action because we've been running so much. The play action is perfectly set up. They score some big points. They got an amazing tight end with Kittle over the middle. They've got a lot of weapons over in San Francisco versus what they had before. You have Deebo Samuel, fantastic rookie wide receiver. He would probably be the rookie of the year. Wide receiver if it wasn't for DK Metcalf. I'd have to say Metcalf balled for Seattle and was very impressive this year as well. And there's others, of course, but in terms of wide receivers, I feel like Deebo Samuel's a fantastic season. Then they picked up Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, we're talking about Super Bowl champion, veteran in the league, comes with that experience from Denver. There's a lot of Broncos energy in the 49ers. You got, Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan's son. You got John Lynch over there as the president over there. You've got, offensive linemen and so forth that used to be on the Broncos. Got a lot of Bronco energy going on with San Francisco, and they did a lot this year. They were an impressive team. They had a wonderful season. 49ers fans are hanging their heads high. They're feeling proud, and they really think they got a chance. And they do. The point spread for this game is the closest it's been since the Seattle Patriots game. And we all know what happened in that game. We all know who Malcolm Butler is because of that game. We all think Pete Carroll just messed up because of that game. All you had to do was give the rock to Marshawn Lynch. Give it to beast mode. That's what he does. Gets you 2 yards. Dives in for the touchdown. They overthought it. They threw the quick pass. You know the rest. Now, this spread here, this Super Bowl, this is as tight as it's been since that game. And that game came down to the final plays of the game. I don't think the same thing is going to happen here. I know that point's been made, but I'll tell you right now, that doesn't, just like when you're investing in the market, previous success doesn't guarantee future results. All right? Just because it's a tight, I get it, but I just don't see it this time around. I actually think that the odds makers got it wrong here. As much as I like the 49ers, as much as I know defense wins championships, I'm going to stress this. Defense wins championships, I'm going to say 8, maybe even 9 out of 10 times, right? But what we're going to see tomorrow is that 1 or 2 out of 10 times. An elite offense, unlike any other, all right? We're talking about Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins. Then you got Hardman and Robinson as your next guy. You can go to either one. Right now, probably Hardman. Robinson's been dropping a lot. Then you got Damian Williams, who's actually playing some of his best football here at the end of the year when it matters the most. And the kid can catch. The kid can catch screens, which is going to be huge in the game tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm basically saying take the Chiefs. If you're going to gamble, my money's on the Chiefs. Don't gamble based off of any opinion you see online. Even those guys that say, I'm right 8 out of 10 times. Gamble, listen to me, and you'll make money. Man, don't gamble for those reasons. You want to gamble, have a little bit of fun. It's the Super Bowl, all right? Don't be betting your life's work, you know, your life savings on one game, especially this one, because, you know, the best round to bet was in the wild card round. Everything was very predictable in that round. You're talking the Super Bowl. Look, I could be wrong, all right? I could be wrong. The 49ers are a really good team. I have nothing against them. They deserve to be here. They are capable of beating the Chiefs. They are. They have the talent. But we're talking about special. What is special? Right? San Francisco lost to Lamar Jackson by 3 points, right? In Baltimore. But still, they lost that game. They lost to Russell Wilson. Also by 3 points. Overtime. Was it 3 points? Maybe it was 7. I don't know. I hope I'm... But point is, they lost to Russell Wilson. And they almost lost to Russell Wilson twice. Because we're talking about 1 inch. All right? If Greenlaw doesn't get that hit on the goal line, we're talking about 2 losses to Russell Wilson. So the weakness for the 49ers has been going up against elite talent. How do you nullify a pass rush? This isn't... I've heard people say, it's just like the Giants against Tom Brady. That defensive line, Strahan, they're going to do the same thing. Wait a minute. Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes are not the same thing. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady is currently the GOAT. I'm not arguing Tom Brady's greatness. That's not what this take is about. But Pat Mahomes, future greatest of all time, Pat Mahomes. Because we all know he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Barring some catastrophic injury, God forbid, happens, we're looking at Pat Mahomes being definitely a shoo-in Hall of Famer with the way he's going. But he's not just projecting Hall of Fame. He's projecting greatest of all time. The way he played last year and then the way he played this year when he came back from injury, this is what we're seeing. So Pat Mahomes, beyond special, all right? So I want to stress, because of Pat Mahomes and how special he is, when that defensive line comes in pressuring on the outside, Pat Mahomes is going to make the quick pass. Pat Mahomes is going to make the sidestep. Pat Mahomes is going to do whatever's necessary. Whatever that 49ers defense gives him, he has weapons everywhere. He can go over the middle. He can go to the sides. He can go to the screens. And he has the IQ to read what's in front of him and adjust. And if they cover everything, he could take off running for a quick first down, whatever. The kid's athletic. And he slides and he avoids contact. So, at the end of the day, I gotta say, and I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I gotta choose the Chiefs. So in Super Bowl 54, Mr. Ball's official prediction is, I predict basically the game to go kind of like this. Chiefs have slow starts in the playoffs. 49ers gonna come out to a nice little early lead, right? Run the ball, try to keep it going. Chiefs are going to keep it close, though. Nothing's going to get away from them. By the end of the first half, I could see the 49ers maybe being up by 3 or something like that. Even if they're up by 10, I wouldn't be that worried. But I see more of like a 3-4, maybe a 7-point lead for the 49ers going into the end of the first half. That's if the 49ers show up and play very well. Because honestly, the way I see this is the Chiefs are probably going to win, and there is a slight possibility of a straight out blowout here. And it happens in the Super Bowl. So when everybody thinks the game's going to be really close, we don't get at all the game that we're expecting. One team comes, they have all the momentum, everything's going their way. I mean, then you're looking at Broncos Seahawks all over again, and it's like 51-8 or something ridiculous. It happens, right? I don't know if that's what's going to happen here. 49ers are a very disciplined team. A lot of those guys haven't been in the Super Bowl. Same thing for the Chiefs, but I don't know, man. There's something special about Pat Mahomes, whether they're down. We saw it against Houston. They were down by 21. Something, they were down by a lot, man. He came in and scored 4 touchdowns in the second quarter. So Pat Mahomes is like extra ridiculous, off the charts. We've never seen anything like this before. So that's why, yeah, I'm going with Pat Mahomes. If I had the wig, I'd put it on right now. Pat Mahomes, baby. This guy, again, not a Chiefs fan, but you have to respect what's coming out of there. KC, Andy Reid. I mean, we're talking about some of the greatest, most due people to win a ring, and he's got the weapon that he needs to do what he needs to do. I just think Andy Reid gets his first. I think the legacy and the story of Pat Mahomes begins tomorrow. He gets his first ring in line of many more. How many is he going to get? I don't know. I've heard people say he's going to get 3-4 rings. Look, Super Bowls ain't guaranteed, all right? They're extremely difficult to get to. It is not an easy thing to get there. You are a champion just being in the Super Bowl. You are the AFC or the NFC champion. That's how hard it is. It's a battle of champions to be the ultimate champion. I mean, that's what we're looking at here. So we're looking at 2 championship teams, 2 teams that deserve the titles in their conference, right? But when it comes down to it, I know the Chiefs are favored by 1.5. Line might change right before the game. But 49ers, take it. I say take the spread all the way. And I'm predicting the 49ers the Chiefs maybe win by about 3 or 4 points by the end of the game. But if it's a 3 or 4 points, I don't think it's like a last play of the game situation. I think it's like garbage time. 49ers just scored a touchdown. Chiefs were already celebrating because the game's pretty much over. And then we have the 49ers that aren't going to quit until the whistle blows. And maybe they score a touchdown. Maybe they don't. So I'm going to say Chiefs win anywhere between a margin of 3 to 10 points. Let's just say somewhere around there. Could be as much as 10. I definitely see the Chiefs scoring in the 30s in this game. Probably around 35, 34 points. And then the 49ers coming in short around 27. Somewhere around there. Like 27, maybe 21. Possible blowout. I mean, that's the only way I see this ending. And it's again, 49ers defense is great, right? They gave up 24 points to the mediocre Green Bay Packers. So what do you think the Chiefs are going to do? I've seen people saying the Chiefs are going to score 23 points. Ridiculous. Talking about Pat Mahomes on the biggest stage, on prime time, what this boy has been groomed for, what he's been waiting for his entire life, is about to happen right now, tomorrow. And we're all about to be witnesses. There's a lot of inspiration going around with all the athletes. Kobe passing gives every single athlete. We saw this with Damian Lillard, actually. The player who was the most inspired, and maybe because he's just not as close to Kobe as like LeBron and AD and the Lakers. Lakers were still crying, they're going through a lot of emotions. But Damian Lillard, man, he was able to respect. He said, I'm cut from the same cloth as Kobe. I'm going to honor him and be him tonight. And he went off for 48 points. He was hitting 30-footers like it was nothing, like free throws. 30-footers, like free throws, like nothing, right? Damian Lillard's special, man. He's a guy who's earned his respect from the fans, from the league. He will not leave Portland. He got paid there. He deserves that money. He is a franchise player. Portland's lucky to have him. They really should be better than they are right now, and maybe they will be. I think they're going to sneak into the playoffs when it's all said and done. Again, a different conversation. So let's just end it right there, right, Mr. Balls? Because you know what? I'm not going to do 30-minute, 1-hour shows, things like that. I'm going to do shows based off of what needs to be said at the moment. So if we got to talk about something else, you might see me pop on. Could be a new video tomorrow. Could be in 4 or 5 days. Could be whenever. But whenever something needs to be spoken, we're going to talk about it. I will throw in one quick little thing because I also have this tennis ball behind me. Australian Open, probably my favorite tennis tournament out of all of them. Has been excellent this year. Massive upsets have occurred. Final is tomorrow right before the Super Bowl. So tune into that. Djokovic and TM. I'll tell you this. I'm picking Djokovic, of course. TM was extremely impressive against Rafael Nadal. If you watch this kid has like a monumental forehand. Djokovic is the complete package, though. You know, Djokovic, Novak is Kobe. Novak is Michael Jordan. That's what this guy is. He is 7-0. And when he wins the semifinal in the Australian Open, he wins the final 7-0. We're about to make that 8-0. So another trophy for Novak. He's still projecting to be the greatest of all time. We literally have Pat Mahomes and Novak Djokovic on the same day, both achieving greatness on the same day. So watch out for that. In fact, I'm going to go see if there's a prop where I can go take the Chiefs and Novak Djokovic to win the Australian Open, because I think if I do both of those, I'll make even more money. Maybe there's something out there. Put 50 bucks on it. I don't know. Don't get crazy, man. Don't be betting your house, all right? I mean, unless you're single and you can afford to lose something, whatever, have a little bit of fun. You got a wife and kids, though. Come on, man. Play it smart, all right? Don't be out there being an idiot, all right? Don't even... Gambling's fun, but it's not a way of life. It's not a profession. Some people are out there. They win big, yeah, they lose big too. Mayweather doesn't show you the checks of the bets that he lost. He just shows you the checks of the bets that he won. I guarantee you, he's lost plenty of bets out there. So, once again, Mr. Ball's bringing it. Super Bowl 54. Take the Chiefs, take the spread. Novak Djokovic winning the Australian Open. Rest in peace to all those affected by the terrible tragedy. Saddest, some of the saddest stuff I've ever seen in sports. But, adios.